Hey, what's going on everybody? Strawhead Central here with another quick tip video. Today we're going to be talking about a good way to develop basic unpredictability with Chipp without meter. Most players' offense at its core is fundamentally very easy to block. For example, a lot of players like to do 5K, 5K, 5K into 2D and then Alpha Blade. This right here is relatively easy to block because at its core, all of it can be blocked by holding down back, excluding the Alpha Blade at the very end. At lower levels, you can get away with continuously trying this because players lack the knowledge to deal with it. But when it's time to climb the tower, better players will block it 9 out of 10 times, and great players may even grab you out of it. So in this situation where both you and your opponent know what you're going to do, it's not that this player has godlike reactions, but the predictable nature of your offense and the extra time that you give your opponent is what's allowing them to block it. As a Chipp player, you need to force your opponent to react and not to predict. The best way to do this is to replace fluff like 5Ks, which are mids, with moves that require immediate reactions from your opponents. Or changing when in your string you input special moves. This is where Guilty Gear's Gatling system comes in and can play a role when it comes to using moves that will cause an immediate response from your opponent. And in this case, command normals. So Chipp has 3 command normals. He has 6K, 6P, and 6 heavy slash. You can Gatling or quickly combo into these command normals off of 5P, 2P, 5K, 2K, or slash, close slash, I'm sorry. The best way to practice cutting the fluff out of your offense is to practice confirming from a 5P or 5K into a command normal. The best one to get familiar with first is 5K into 2K or 5K into 6K. 6K is an overhead and 2K is a low. So just being able to switch off of those two allows you to turn one hit of 5K into either an overhead or a low. If your opponent doesn't immediately respond to one of those, they're going to get hit. While it's a little tricky at first, and that's why a lot of people like to include extra 5Ks when they're playing on autopilot, while adding extra 5Ks give you time to think about what you're going to do next, it also gives your opponent time to process and think about how to block whatever you're going to do next. Now, changing the timing of when you input your special move is also a great way of punishing your opponent for trying to predict you instead of reacting to you as Chipp. If an experienced player is predicting and trying to throw you after like the 3rd K, but instead you do Alpha Blade on the 2nd K, it's going to hit him. And so on and so on and so on. A simple but great way to practice this is by going into training mode and practicing inputting special moves after confirming off of one hit. This can also be tough for new players, but it's very important to grind this into your muscle memory because it gives you the freedom to be able to switch between them later. Now that you have a basic understanding of how Gatlings work and are working on your ability to do special moves at any point in your sequences, now you can mix between both of them at the same time to now give your opponent a super hard time defending against you. You can practice this also in training mode by just now going in on your blocking opponent and continuously doing both of those things. The key is to move seamlessly, and if you catch yourself stuttering or like a hiccup in like your movement or your ability to Gatling between something or doing something that doesn't go together, that's just a sign that there's more work to be done and something that you can improve over time, which is a good thing. Some extra information to have is that without Roman cancel or enough meter to Roman cancel, you can't combo off of 6K. So a great way of punishing your opponent that's not respecting your overhead options is to go from 5K and the Gatling into 5D. Because there you can get a full dust combo, which will punish your opponent for not respecting your overheads. Last but not least, a lot of new Chipps like to go into close slash, far slash into rushos. But what they don't realize is that this is actually very easy to block because this in itself is not a up, down, left, right mix up. What this is a counter hit bait. So what you're supposed to do with Rusho in this situation, if you're trying to open up your opponent, is to delay the first and second inputs of the Rusho Rekka. So input the first one, down forward slash, wait a few seconds, and then do down forward slash again. If you do them one after another, there's no gap in between, so your opponent isn't going to mash a button, they're just going to block it. This can also be applied to normals and Gatlings as well by just delaying when you press the next button as a chance or a way of leaving a gap for your opponent to attempt to press a button. This is called a frame trap. A great way to practice staggering your buttons is to use a move like Chipp's 2 slash and to throw out 2 slash, wait for the recovery, and then try to throw out another one. If the second 2 doesn't come out, that means you were too early and you have to wait for Chipp to finish his animation. So a great way of like finding out that timing is to throw it out, try to throw it out again. If it doesn't come out, then wait a little bit longer. Do that over and over until you find that window exactly when Chipp is able to do a move again. And then you slowly cut that down until where there's no time in between. Hey guys, if this video has helped you at all, please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And it lets me know that this stuff is actually helping you guys, because I love doing it and I would love to make more. But until then, I'll see you guys next time.